This is a wonderful country, my boy, but our legal system doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
If an enemy becomes a problem, someone calls the professional.
I'm talking about people who roam the halls of power with impunity.
Target, former Nazi SS captain, Bernard Mueller.
I'll take the job.
Who corrupt and subvert the very principles our Constitution exists to uphold.
But this time, it's personal. The hunter has become the hunted.
I've done things I shouldn't do.
Because this time, he's the target.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Baron Jax, and this is Skull Ricks.
In a car off a cliff.
Today, we're reviewing Red Photon Zillion, also known as the Nintendo Zapper anime, by people who aren't us.
We like to call it a show about nothing.
At this point, I'm not even sure Seinfeld wants to be known for that, given how many people were clamoring for a reboot at NBC.
Wait, NBC is still around.
Red Photon Zillion is about a set of guns that can delete anything at the molecular level, powered by an unknown element that people in this show barely understand, called Zillium.
At least it's better than it being called unobtainium.
Look at all that cheddar.
The show itself centers around a conflict on a planet called Maris, involving humanity and a mysterious race of biomechanical aliens called the Nozon. They invade Maris so they can continue propagating their species, but you don't really find out about that until at least halfway through the series. Our heroes, the White Nuts, are the only thing that stands between the Nozon and their conquest of Maris. Armed with the Zillion blasters, the White Nuts effortlessly take out everything the Nozon throw at them. Well, it's that time again.
Yeah, we would be lying if we told you this show has anything else going for it. I mean, there are some fun moments, but they are so far apart that it doesn't matter. The Nozon don't really get their shit in gear until the tail end of the series, and even then, their most competent member, Baron Rix, is the only member of their species that does anything.
The show looks good. The animation is consistent, and the soundtrack is poppin'. But outside of that, the show really just kind of falls apart. Once you get past the first couple episodes, the Nozon are just treated as a non-threat. Despite having conquered a third of the planet, they can't handle 3 young adults and their black hole guns.
The show feels like it would have been better if it were shorter. The Zillion guns themselves are so blatantly overpowered. I know I'm complaining about something powered by a poorly explained energy source being overpowered, but even when they establish a set of rules for it, like having a set number of shots before needing to be reloaded, or having a size limit for things they can atomize, it still doesn't matter. Because our so-called heroes have plot armor so thick that even characters from fairy tales should be taking notes, so I shouldn't have to tell you how bad the writing for this show is.
Most episodes for Red Photon Zillion focus on the team's dynamic. Between the pissing contest between JJ and Champ, the whole team trying to get laid,
モーニングセシロちゃんJJ はこんなセシロちゃんが大好きですなんつってね
or their inability to be rational human beings.
暴力はおやめなさい。ここは病院です。
おばあさん、俺たちはな。
ジャンプ。
The White Nuts are as strong as they are stupid. In order to really appreciate this show, you may have to turn your brain off, mostly because the more you get into it, the worse it gets. The Nozon have some weird time limit before they all die, so they have to ensure that the next generation can grow up on a resource-enriched planet before they all turn to dust, which makes you sympathize with them more than the actual main characters.
The show also has a follow-up OVA, which is a retelling of the events from the show and is significantly better. and not just because it's shorter. They did away with the whole nose-on conflict in favor of a more grounded story. They still use major nose-on characters from the show, like Baron Rix, Admis, and the Cyborg Trio, but they're different characters entirely. The OVA also does away with the Zillion guns. I mean, they do use the Mark II blasters, but thankfully they just function as regular guns. Outside of the main characters, the not Zillion guns, and a funny music video, nothing is tying the OVA back to the original show, which ultimately works in its favor.
I don't have too much time on my hands. I'd recommend Red Photon Zillion's OST and OVA, Burning Night. If you don't mind losing a few brain cells, the series is also fine, I suppose.
The moral of the story is that overpowered things from a narrative standpoint can only get you so far. Seriously though, this show is god-awful.
Is it because JJ's the poster child for Plan B?
Yes. Good night, everybody.
どうした
花見が来るわ